Okay, for triangle ABC, side B equals 50 centimeters and angle A equals 30 degrees. Find the values for the length of side A that will produce no triangle, one triangle, or two triangles. So basically, it's all about this length of side A and comparing it to B and comparing it to B side A. So this is quite a confusing diagram, but basically, let's think you've got an angle at A here, and we're saying that's fixed at 30 degrees. And then you've got side length B is fixed at 50 centimeters. So side length B, we're saying this is 50 centimeters. Right, so once you've got that 30 degrees locked in and the 50 centimeters, so this is fixed, as is the angle. Everything else, obviously point C is fixed, everything else is free to move. Right, so the possible number of triangles that can result, it all depends on the length of side A relative to B and relative to B sine A. So when you talk about is A equaling B sine A, well, that would mean you'd have a right angled triangle, because of course, if you had a right angled triangle, and this is B and this is A, and you've got you've got big A here. But if you think about HOA being rings, so it would be sine. Well, if you said, well, sine A equals, or it's opposite over hypotenuse, so it's A over B. So obviously, in a right angled triangle, A would be B sine A. So if this situation is true, then you get this right angled triangle, which can be seen on the blue line. You get no triangle when A is less than B sine A. So you can see that with the red line there. Basically, you've got this fixed black line here, and you've got this baseline along here. You've got this baseline. That's point B needs to be on that baseline, right? And if A is shorter than B sine A, remember this blue line, as we've just, for the reasons we've said, that line has length B sine A. If A is anything less than that, then it's not going to reach the baseline. So it's not going to finish that triangle, because then if I want to now go back, well, the angle's no longer 30 degrees, so it's not fixed. It's not the right triangle. We haven't met the criteria. So if A is anything shorter than B sine A, you're not going to get a triangle at all once you have this arrangement with an acute angle that we're interested in. So if A, for case 3, if A is less than B, but it's greater than B sine A, then you get two possible triangles. You can see that with the yellow line. So this yellow line it's less than side length B, so it's less than the length of this blue line we drew first. We can get two possible triangles there. So A is longer than the line that goes straight down. It has length B sine A, but it's shorter than B, so you get two possible triangles there. And if A is greater than B, so you can see this green line on the end, this line here is actually longer than side B, the first side we drew. And if there is only one way that can happen, such that point B can be on the baseline, and you have this angle of 30 degrees. So basically what we need to do is work out B sine A. So in our case, we are told B is 50, A is 30, so that's quite handy. So B sine A equals, well, it's 50 times a half. Times a half, which is just 25. So the magic number is 25. Obviously, we know that B is 50. So we want to know what produces no triangle. Well, that's when A is shorter than 25. So part 1, no triangle when the length of side A is shorter than 25 centimeters. Now, part 2, when is one triangle going to happen? Well, remember, there's two cases that involve one triangle. There's the one right-angled triangle, which is when A equals B sine A, so when A equals 25, or we get one triangle when A is anything greater than B. So remember, that's the green line, so it would have to be greater than 50. So one triangle, so either when A equals 25 centimeters, that's when you get one right-angled triangle, or when A, remember, it's greater than B, so it needs to be greater than 50 centimeters. Okay, part 3, two triangles. Two triangles when, so we just go back up to our diagram. You get two triangles when the length of side A is bigger than B sine A, so greater than 25, but it is less than B, so it's less than 50. Remember, that's these yellow lines down here. So when A is greater than 25, but it's less than 50 centimeters. And squeeze centimeters in there. Okay, so that's just the answer. Obviously, learning the numbers is okay, but really the key is to if you can interpret this diagram and how it makes sense, that's where the understanding will really become concrete.